Now, normally what you'll do within a new library at some point is you will create one or more new templates. And we are going to cover that in the next video. But for now, what we're going to do is add some things to this library that will help organize the library and also add some shortcuts to existing templates, which again you may have occasion to do. Let's go ahead and create a new shortcut to an existing template. If I have an existing template out there somewhere, say somebody in the firm or the company has already created a template, and I want to create a shortcut to that existing template here in this library, there are three different ways that I can go about doing that. The first way, the most conventional way, is to click on the Add Item button on this library toolbar. So when I click on the Add Item button here, I'm presented with the Add Item dialog. Now, if this existing template is a Word template of some sort, then what you'll want to do here is leave text template selected. But of course, this is a drop-down, so if I click on the drop-down here, you'll see that there are actually a number of different types of items I can add to a library. If the template, for example, is what we commonly call a form template, which is really a template in a PDF format, then you would want to click on this form template item. But I'm just going to stick with text template here. So let's say I've got a Word template out there that somebody has already created, and as part of this new project or as part of this library creation, I want to create a new shortcut to that existing template. Well, I'm going to go ahead and browse to that template first by putting my cursor here in the file name field and then clicking on the browse button. And let's just say that there is a divorce decree out there that I want to create a shortcut for in this new library. So all I'm going to do here is either single click on divorce decree and then click on OK, or I could just double click. Either way, what that's going to do is create a full file path and file name in this file name field. And then it's also going to put a title in this title field. You can of course modify that title if you so choose. So if you want this shortcut to this existing template to look a little different than it might look, say, in another library where this template might be referenced, you can go ahead and make that modification here. Again, as with the new library dialog, the description field that you see here is completely optional. If the original template, or when the template was created, if it had a description associated with it, that would appear here. Otherwise, you can add a description of your own here. When I click on OK, what HotDocs does is it creates a shortcut now to that existing template, and I can see more information about that underlying template over here on the Properties tab. A second technique that you may use to create a new shortcut to an existing template involves going back into a library that contains a shortcut to that template. So what I'm going to do here, let's say I have another family law related template and I want to create a new shortcut to that template here in this library. But there may well be another library out there that already contains a shortcut to that template. So as an alternative to clicking on the Add Item button, what I could do is go to that library where I know I have an existing shortcut to that existing template. Let's say that there is something in the estate planning library. Let's say it's this marital settlement agreement. It may well be used, this template may well be used in an estate planning context, but it could also very well be used in a family law context. So I may want to have shortcuts to that same template in both an estate planning library and my new family law library. So what I'm going to do here is highlight the shortcut to this marital settlement agreement template, or more precisely the shortcut to that template. And I'm either going to go up to the toolbar here and click on copy, or right click and select copy, or do a Control-C. Any one of those three methods, what we're going to be doing is copying this shortcut to the clipboard. Now, You may also notice here in the right-click menu, if you choose to use the right-click functionality here to copy this shortcut to the clipboard, that there is a copy template option up here. We don't want that in this situation. That refers to the underlying template. That is a totally different function or technique. What we are concerned with here is merely copying the shortcut to that template. And again, I can go down to the bottom of the right-click menu or do a Control-C or otherwise use the copy button on the ribbon or the toolbar. So when I do that, you won't see anything happen, but that shortcut has now been copied to the clipboard, at which point I can go back into my new library. Again, it's the Family Law library here. And then I can click on the paste button up here on the toolbar, or I can right-click and do a paste in the right-click menu, or simply do a Control-V on the keyboard. Any one of those methods will then paste that shortcut into my new library. So now, with this marital settlement agreement, I now have basically two access points to that template. One by way of the estate planning library and the shortcut to that template within that library. And then, of course, another shortcut here in the family law library. And so by copying and pasting an existing shortcut, I can effectively create another item to an existing, or another shortcut to an existing template here in this new library. Now, the third technique that you can use involves doing a drag and drop from a Windows Explorer box into the library. So I've got a Windows Explorer box here open in my project folder, and you can see that this is the folder that I used in creating the two shortcuts using two other techniques to the divorce decree and the marital settlement agreement. I probably could have saved some time because this is a very quick process, probably the quickest method of the three, by simply highlighting either or both of the docx files in this folder and doing a drag and drop. By doing that, HotDocs automatically creates shortcuts in the library to those templates in this location. So any one of those three methods, the add library button, a copy and paste out of another library, or a simple drag and drop out of Windows Explorer, will create the shortcuts that you need in a new library.